Well, I would just say, people, in this video you are going to see a practical demonstration of my first mod to the Arrma Felony. It goes really well. It doesn't end well though. So keep watching and you'll see what I mean. Well, Rich here, and welcome back to the channel, my fellow drifter maniacs. Today on the bench we have the Arrma Felony. I am absolutely loving this car, but I do feel the time has come for its first upgrade. Before I even go considering making it go faster, putting a different power plant in, etc., want to sort the steering out. As stock, this car still has just a stock 14 kilo steering servo in it. However, the Felony weighs around 11 pounds without the batteries, so I think about 13 pounds in weight in there. That is an awfully small rated servo, to my mind, to be controlling that amount of weight, particularly given that with these wider rear tyres on the car, the AVC is going to be having to work even harder to keep the thing under control than it did with the infraction, if that makes sense. So before the servo lets go on me, and you don't want that happening at the kind of speeds this car can go at, I'm going to replace it with this Power Hobby 760 HV servo. What is there to like about this? Well, not only is it extremely fast at 0.11 of a second on 8.4 volts BEC, but it also pulls a staggering 55 kilos on 8.4 volts BEC, and even just 40 kilos on 6 volts. So even with a 6 volt setting, the thing is giving out nearly 3 times the power of the stock steering servo. So I figure the Power Hobby 760 MG is going to be good for all my future needs on the car. If I modify the power plant, make it go faster, give it even more power, that's going to put even more load on the steering. So that is why this is going to be my first mod. So what do we get for our money? Well, there's a little kit of parts for fixing it with. The servo itself is an absolute work of beauty. Aluminum case on there, brushless, metal geared, and waterproofed to IP67 on there. Absolutely outstanding in terms of the quality. This car could take a major hit and I can guarantee that servo wouldn't get broken, even if a lot of the other stuff did. And it even comes with a nice 25 tooth metal steering servo horn on there. So out with the old, in with the new. And I know a lot of you people out there know how to do things like changing the servo, but for any newcomers to the hobby, there can be a tendency to take your car back to your model store to get them, say, to put in a new servo for you, which can be quite expensive to do. You save a small fortune by fitting the stuff yourself. Removing the servo, fairly easy. As with any servo, you just got 4 screws, 2 at either end. Release the one in the middle for the servo horn, then you're going to need to remove the wire that feeds into the receiver and feed the new wire back in. As I say, might sound simple, a lot of you know that, but bear in mind, not everybody watching this video is as experienced as quite a few of you are out there. Okay, servo in place, just needs to be screwed down. One thing I would just point out to anybody doing this conversion on one of the newer Arrmas with this new radio box on here is the slot the servo wire fits through is extremely narrow indeed, and you will need some patience and possibly the use of some very child unfriendly language to fit it in place. Okay, with all the wires back in place, I'm going to screw the servo down, but I'm going to test it before I put the lid on in case I need to adjust any of the wiring, etc. Okay, I powered the car back up, check the steering servo orientation, everything is right. So one thing I would say to anybody fitting a new servo for the first time, power up the car with the steering trim on your transmitter centered on there before you put the steering servo horn on. Otherwise, when you turn the power on, you could find it kinks the wheels over like that or like that. Hope that makes sense. Richie's little time saving tip there for you. Particularly important that the wheels are pointing straight ahead when you've got a car that's going to run as fast as this is. Now, whilst the Power Hobby steering servo comes with that very nice metal steering servo horn, it made perfect sense to refit the existing one on there. Okay Richie, nice steering servo upgrade, but what does it mean in the real world when we get some batteries in and test this thing in the driveway? Okay, well I have a good feeling about this from the outset. Look at how fast that servo snaps back into a straight line on there. That is definitely going to help when it comes to putting the power down on this thing. Anyway, let's have a bit of fun. Oh yeah, immediately
heating the tyres. It's like night versus day over the stock servo. Man. I think certainly when it comes to drifting, this thing is... that's... whoa. Awfully large amount of power to be obviously using in the drive here. But that steering servo, the difference is just literally like night versus day. I now feel more confident that I'm going to be able at high speed, that the front of the car is going to be in control. And the stock servo isn't bad, but man, you can, that thing just snapping round now. Whoa! Oh, you can catch this thing like it's on fire when that starts to break away. The difference it makes in being able to catch it on the full power is huge. Like on there, that full throttle whip round. Oh! And that is how fast the car can overheat, because that's a fresh battery pack in there, and that means the ESC has overheated in about 3 minutes flat. Now, that has been a big worry on the original car. The original infraction, the ESC overheated. When I first tried a speed run with this the other day with the optional pinion on there, same issue. I did one flat out run, then the ESC overtemp kicked in, and I couldn't do the run back to me. It came back home in limp mode. So I think this is going to need a call to Horizon Hobby on Monday. Impressive car, not that impressed with the ESC. I thought they would have learnt from the infraction, but there is no way this car should be overheating within 3 minutes. But it is what it is. I love my Arrmas, I love my Traxxas cars, but if there's a fault on either one of them, you will be the first people to know, and this is definitely an overheating issue, because the steering is still working, but we ain't got no power, and that's a fully charged battery in there. But anyhow, while we've got an issue with the ESC overheating in such a short period of time, the servo is absolutely outstanding. I would highly recommend fitting one of these. Seems a bit of overkill, but look at just how fast that servo snaps the wheels straight again. Power Hobby, you are absolutely outstanding. 55 kilos in a 110 scale servo.
Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.